Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Capricorn in mid-February 2020. What's going on, Capricorn? How are you guys doing? I hope you are doing well. All right, Capricorn, welcome to mid-February. How are you doing? How was your Valentine's Day? Hopefully it was wonderful. Hopefully it was amazing. And if it wasn't, there is that bug. One moment. I will be right back. Excuse me. Okay, so yeah. So what had happened was, Capricorn, God, I don't even know where I was in my intro. I was reading for Aries earlier today, and there was a little bug up on my ceiling, and I was like, oh no, but I can't get it. And I was like, oh, it'll go away, hopefully. It reappeared just now, came down on the light here, and I was able to get to it. We had a tussle. I won. You know, higher species, so I won, but it was a little bit of a thing, a little spider. So anyway, Capricorn, how are you? Hi. Yeah, I think I talked to you about your Valentine's. I hope it was a good one, and yeah, so let's just get into it. I've shuffled off camera. That's your main spread there. I will shuffle on camera now for your outcome and your overall energy, Capricorn. Once everything is out and it's lying physical on the table, that's when the reading begins. You can look in the description box below for the timestamp. You can also look down there for information on how to order a personal reading with me. If you have questions before you place an order, just feel free to email me at the same address that's listed there, okay? Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and comment. Do all that fun stuff. It really helps support the channel in lieu of purchasing a personal or doing any type of donation to the channel. And also, guys, please forgive me. Just like right now, I do have a bit of a head cold, so I might cough or need to excuse myself to clear my sinuses a little bit. So I apologize ahead of time if I have to do any of that stuff, okay? All right, back to the regularly scheduled program. Let's go ahead and get you an outcome for mid-February. Let's see Capricorn's outcome in mid-February 2020. Outcome for Capricorn in mid-February 2020. Please show me. Ooh, yes. Yes, okay. Rarely do we get something that doesn't flip. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. All right, and let's see what they had me choose for you. But yeah, there you go. All right, guys, let's get into it. Please show me where Capricorn is. Pardon me. Please show me Capricorn in mid-February 2020. Mid-February 2020, where is Capricorn? Please show me. Okay, thank you. We got there. All right, guys, coming into mid-February, you come in with the Five of Pentacles. All right, so as the card says, worry. Some of you might be worried, particularly about your home or your finances or anything to do with your stability and security. Yeah, I'm feeling, because a lot of times we say with the Five of Pentacles, like these people, not, is that it's a lack mentality, right? I do get that here for some of you, but in most cases, actually, this is, pardon me, it's, some of you are really, like, caught between a rock and a hard place is how this feels like. It feels like, okay, Capricorn, it feels as though in some of your cases you're in a bind, a financial bind, or a bind like over a contract or a lease or some type of, you know, documented legal binding situation. And it's because of another person, or it's tethered you to another person or whatever. So you may, okay, thank you. You may have co-signed on something for someone, like a loan per se, and now that this person, even though they're the primary owner of the loan. They were the recipient. Now that they've come up short, legally, according to the contract, according to the agreement, you're now on the hook for that money. Does that make sense? This could be, which has been coming up a lot in the readings I've done so far today, this could be you being tied to a person in terms of your living situation. Again, Pentacles is not only about money, it's about things that refer to our security and our foundations in life. So some of you might be in a lease with someone who is horrible. Like, you might have a horrible roommate and like they don't care about the lease. They don't even understand or give a shit. And so like they're causing all kinds of damage to the property, and that's going to go on your head as well as theirs. But it's something like that where the actions of another person, possibly the carefree actions, the reckless actions, or choices of another person, are really coming home to roost in your yard. Okay? And that is because of your legal tie to a person or your contractual tie to a person, right? In other cases, this could be your child, or anyone else that you're responsible for, again, in a very legal, very like, by the book, according to the laws of the land, or whatever you signed yourself up for, either because you signed a piece of paper or you brought someone into this world. There's this aspect of you're now tethered to a situation where it's costing you money, or it's putting your security up for grabs. It's precarious, and it feels like it's not, quote unquote, your fault. One second. It feels as though it's not your fault, Capricorn. It feels as though you're in a situation, and as much as I'm saying it's not your fault, again, I'm an empathic reader for those who may or may not know me. And so when I say, oh, it's not your fault, I'm just expressing what I think you feel as the empathic person. So it might legally be your fault or legally be your responsibility because, again, you've signed a contract, because you are this person's, caretaker, you're their parent, you're their guardian, whatever it is. It's like, my gosh, that's why it's not your fault. It feels as though, and Capricorn has this mentality, is that we're all individuals, we're all responsible for ourselves. Even like, the little 6-year-old, you're your own person, right? Little 6-year-old, I'm being facetious. I'm being really facetious here when I say that. But there is this sense that Capricorn doesn't enjoy being responsible for other people when the other person is certifiably, clearly, without a doubt, the person who's doing the bad deed, right? Capricorn would not be one to be okay with being an accessory to someone else's crime, basically. And that's what this feels like. It feels like maybe in some of your cases you are an accessory to somebody's crime, but I'm using that terminology very loosely. You don't want to be, well, it's too late, you already are. You don't want to be associated with what this person is doing, but it's too late, you already are. And again, I feel it's because of either the situation that you're in terms of, lineage, you have given birth to this person, or they've given birth, and it could go the other way, they've given birth to you, but they're acting like the child, and you've been the adult since your teenage years, right? So there's something here where you're responsible for someone else and you don't want to be, because they're doing poorly for themselves and they're dragging you along with them, is what this feels like. Ay, Dios mío. Excuse me, pardon me. Now, the whole reason I've said this, and I didn't realize it because I put that card down and I was just like flowing with what I was feeling there. But look at the demeanor of these two characters. Oh, please. There we go. See how the one is just like balled up on the floor in a fetal position, like super out of it, just like done with the world, done with the day, right? And the other one has got their back up on the wall, sitting up, and is like in the same situation, but much more aware, much more conscious of what's going on. And if, needing to get up off of the ground, I think the one who's sitting up is like halfway there. The one who's like lying down, curled up in the fetal position is just like a little more defeated. So I'm getting this sense of you're both in the same boat. However, one of you is just like unaware, uncaring to exactly the detail of what's going on, or the ins and outs of it. Maybe one of you is just like resigned to the fact that this is awful and there's nothing I can do, or there's nothing we can do to fix it. And then I'm feeling like you, Capricorn, you'd be more of a, no, this is crappy, but we could get out of this. Or being critical of the other person and saying, you know, the reason we're in this mess is because of you and your stupid mistakes or your stupid actions or whatever it is. So as much as you're with this person, friend, family, lover, it doesn't matter, you're also not wanting to be with them. You're with them, but you don't want to be with them. Now, that can go in so many ways, to so many different degrees. Do you not want to be with them in this situation? Do you not want to be with them, period? Do you not want to be with them for now? Ooh, I don't know what that means. But there's this idea of, I'm in this mess because of you. And that is a bitter place to be. And I'm not saying you have no reason to be. I'm not trying to say rise above it, but I'm letting you know that's a bitter, like very bitter. It's like it's weird. I'm getting like this displeased feeling in my gut. Like, not like my gut is like, you know, having a moment. It's more like within me, I'm so I don't know what this feeling is. I don't usually get it personally, but that's what this feels like. Like, inside of me, I'm so upset at this person. I'm so ashamed in some cases of this person. And I don't know what to do with them, or I don't know what to do here. That's the other thing about the Five of Pentacles. Like I said at the beginning, a lack mentality. So you might be at the end of your rope in this situation or with this person. You might have tried to find all kinds of solutions and you've come up short, or the solutions that you've proposed are not good enough. If this is like a creditor situation, a debt situation, you might be like, look, I can afford this much towards the debt per month. And they're like, nah, you gotta come with more than that. And you're like, I can't. And that's it. And so the debt will continue to accrue. The debt will continue to, you know, compile interest. And so you're kind of like trying to claw your way out of a hole here. And the shitty part is that you're working with someone, or you're in business with someone, in connection, thank you, with someone who isn't helping you. It's weird. Lord. What to do with this? I don't know. So what else happens, Capricorn? Let's see. Yeah, so yeah, this is you trying. Whoever's trying, and again, it's a general. I'm saying you, Capricorn, only because that's the energy that I feel the strongest. However, it can be flipped, right? So whoever's trying, they have this Three of Wands energy. They're trying so hard, trying their best to be creative about it, trying their best to think outside the box or come up with solutions that satisfy everybody involved, or at least will see the needle move towards more effective or positive change, right? There's this aspect of you, or whoever this is, that kind of has a won't be defeated energy or attitude. I'm not going to be defeated. I'm not going to give up. Especially, there it is. That's it. Because the Three of Wands is hopeful. It is kind of an optimistic energy, but there is this element that serves the self in the Three of Wands. I want good things to happen because partially, at least, those good things are going to happen towards me, right? So it's not necessarily a charitable energy, but because you are tethered to someone else, they would benefit from your good deeds or benefit from any progress that you would make. So that's where that, I don't know why I have to describe, or not describe, but I don't know why I have to highlight this, but I am, because, okay, there it is. there might be a perception that, let's say this is a situation about debt or about some type of money that's owed, right? There's this idea that if Capricorn pays the debt, they did a favor for the person. Again, you might just be the co-signer on a loan or some type of debt, right? And creditors come knocking on your door, hitting your phone up. Hey, Capricorn, you co-signed for XYZ person's loan. That person hasn't paid in 2 months. We need $800 today. And you're like, you need what? $800? Okay. And you pay it, right? You might get into a conversation with this person that says, oh, thank you for doing me this favor. It means so much to me, da da da. It's like, no, I did that for me. You know why? Because as your co-signer, my credit gets affected by this or whatever. It falls back to me too. I didn't do it primarily for you. I did it for me as well. Now, or reverse, I did it primarily for me. You're just a secondary thought. I don't know if you have like a nasty or contentious connection with this person, but I do get this sense of someone needs to realize this is not charity, you know? This is not something I'm doing out of the kindness of my heart. I'm doing this because I have a plan for the future, or I have responsibilities that I don't ignore, yeah? Three of Wands is, pardon me, is like that. I'm not ignoring my responsibilities. Am I begrudging them? And am I annoyed by them? Am I worried about them? Sure, because I went and I signed on this loan with you, or I signed a lease with you, whatever it is, and we're now contractually tied to each other for a time period, right? But make no mistake, I did this primarily for myself, because I don't want to be, like I said here with the Five of Pentacles, I don't want to be dragged down with you. I don't want to have to suffer the consequences like you. Yeah, there's something here about that, and there's a potential misunderstanding between you and another person about why you took an action or why certain monies were paid somewhere. Yeah. Regardless, this Three of Wands is showing me you might have a plan, or you might be in the development of a plan that's going to see, Jesus, I need more tea. Because this is all cold now. You're beginning to formulate a plan that possibly is going to see you out of something in the long run, or at least that's what you want. You know, a lot of times the Three of Wands, it's about a plan, but it's also like, how can I say it? It's a plan, but like no guarantee, or it's like it's like outlining. Like if you were to write something, like in college, you have to do an outline, even though I never did any myself, or at least I prefer not to. But let's say you were writing a paper for a class and you needed to do an outline, right? The outline comes before not only the writing, but also comes before the research, right? So the outline is, it's like just the idea of having an idea is sort of what it is. Or the idea of, here's what I want to see happen. Here's what I'm hoping to cover in the paper. However, after research, your outline might become kind of, quote unquote, useless. Yeah. So that's what this feels like. Not to say what you're doing now is useless. Not to say paying the $800 is useless. Maybe it is. I don't know. But there's something here about, it's just the formulation of a plan. The initial groundwork of something. It may or may not stand up. It may or may not bear fruit. It may or may not prove to be effective. Yeah? So there's tenacity and there's foresight enough there, but if the circumstances or the other people around are not also bolstering or supporting of that plan, if they don't get on board with it, then it's for nothing. It's for naught. Yeah, I'm like getting this idea of someone like pays down a debt or pays an overdue bill, goes to the person who's primarily responsible for that debt or bill and says, look, this is what I paid to get you out of the hole. Don't make me do this again. They're going to make you do it again. They're not going to, see, there's something here where there's a high probability that we're going to circle back and do this again. That's a trouble spot, especially over money. No ma'am or sir. No ma'am or sir. No thank you. Now, what else happens? Yeah. So you're left, or whoever's paying the debt down, whoever's taking on that responsibility, you get the Four of Swords. And that's so funny. The word above it is truce, yeah? So, listen, I don't know who is dealing with someone and the issue with money, but that's coming through the clearest. If it's not about money, if it's about something else, please apply it. You know, it is a general. But I'm getting the sense of, you know, you go to this person and you're like, listen, these are your debts. These are your bills. I'll help you now. I'll help you out right now in the short term. However, eventually, because you're primarily in charge of this account, you have to take ownership of this. Pardon me. You have to step up. I can't shoulder this for you. I can't take on this money. I can't do it. I cannot afford it. You tell this person that, and they say, okay, cool. I understand. Thank you for helping me. I was wrong to not take care of it in the first place. Or, you know, a lot of people, you know, they're down on their luck. You know, they lost their job, or, you know, oh, my check was short. My check was short. Yeah, whatever. You know, whatever they're telling you. Yeah. But you get to this point of a truce. Now, the interesting thing about the Four of Swords is it's also a point of reflection. It's also a time for us to, we are maybe not made to, but we take time, or the situation is such that we are put into a state of reflection. We're put into a state of rest. And the irony is you're in more of a physical rest, but mentally, as I tap my head, you can't see me, but I'm tapping the side of my head here. Mentally, that's all you can think about is the situation that we're discussing. So the moment you leave the little sit down chat you have with this person, again, I'm feeling it's like a parent-child type of dynamic. It can be friends, it can be other family members, of course, but it is like such a dynamic that I'm taking care of my child who isn't necessarily a child, right? They're just behaving childishly. So we could have a parent who's in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and their child is in their 20s, 30s, or 40s. You see what I mean? It's like you leave that chat with that person who is acting childish, and they say, yes, I'm going to step up and take care of my responsibilities. But as soon as you leave, your mind is like, they're not going to do it. 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 They're going to mess up. They're going to mess up. They're going to mess up. Now, I would be lying if I said, no, they're going to do it. I feel as though they're not. I feel as though, you know, that was a bunch of smoke, or they're going to do it for a while, but then eventually we're going to be back to square one. Okay? With the Five of Pentacles. So there is this energy coming from this situation where we are repeating cycles, we're repeating behaviors, we're coming back to certain things that are predictable, and you know it. Some of you are trying to have faith. That's fair. Pardon me, in this person, you're trying to, you know, wish them well and not, you know, think so negatively about them or their capabilities. But, you know, I don't know, Capricorn, this is very difficult because I know that you care about this person, or I know that you care about not only your interest in it, but you care about their interest in it too. Thank you. And with the Four of Swords, thank you. It's also showing, like I told you, physical rest more so than mental rest. Because again, when you get into the Four of Swords, you tend to get into a loop in your mind sometimes. And it signals that you need your mind to be quiet. But like the card is showing you, this person is lying flat on their back. There might be a need, which is hard to do, especially in a financial bind. But there might be a need, just a suggestion, or just not even a suggestion, just a questioning. If this person were to take the brunt of the hit, whatever is on the line here, right? There's something about that, like either it crosses your mind, if I didn't step in to help them, what would happen? Not in a cruel, manipulative, vindictive type of way, but no, more of like a, is that what is actually needed here? I feel there's this tendency for you, or tendency for other people, or just this repeated energy of saving a person, stepping in and saving the day, stepping in and taking on the brunt of the responsibility, or whatever it is. And I'm just like, I don't know if that's necessary, or I don't know if that's helpful in the long run. Now they're showing me like someone like about bail. Literal bail. Like literally maybe you have family or friends that are in and out of jail, right? That's life for some people, right? In and out. And every time they're needing to come out or they're brought up on charges, you post the bail. Whether you're, you know, a doting parent or a very protective grandmother or grandfather, I don't know. And you always step in and save this person. And now there's this element of, what if I didn't save them? What if I rested? Oh God, with the damn focus. But what if I rested? What if I didn't step in? You know, that could cross your mind. What you're supposed to do with that, if you're supposed to act in that way, I don't know. But that is definitely in the ether. It's an option. Thank you. It's an option. Huh. Interesting. Final card is the Hermit. Major Arcana for Hermit. Major Arcana for Virgo. Some of you could be dealing with a Virgo, but you don't have to be. Ay, Dios mío. This is like really, it might be the retrograde, because you're the fourth reading I'm doing. All of them have been difficult thus far in some form or fashion. And yours is, you know, no different. Yours is, well, so far uniquely, because I think where you're going, or what you're wrestling with right now, Capricorn, is this deep reflection. These are two cards of reflection, the Four of Swords and the Hermit. You're in this deep place of considering what's going to change this person. What's going to change this dynamic between you? Beyond money, because now, you know, the money is one thing. Money in itself causes a lot of stress, causes a lot of grief in people's lives, can cause a lot of joy or be the source of joy or easier times, but often money is very stressful for people. It's very, it causes a lot of anxiety, right? But the money issue aside, I feel as though you're in this place of considering if certain things don't happen the way they used to. If you didn't step in and defend someone, if you didn't come to someone's rescue, or you weren't as available to people as you once were, or in terms of like a living situation, maybe it's not even an official lease. Maybe because this person is your family, that you've let them stay with you rent-free or virtually rent-free, and they and their children or whoever is staying in your house is tearing up everything in your house, right? Like, you may have let your cousin in the house, he or she fell down on their luck, they lost their job, right? And you're like, okay, you and your kids can stay with me. I got a 3-bedroom house, you know, no problem. I'll let you stay here for a couple of weeks or a couple of months. Now it's what, 8 months in, a year in, this person's not paying you any rent, or whatever they're giving to you is very minimal. Their kids are tearing your shit apart. What if I put these people out? Maybe that is what is needed. Because the Hermit, thank you. The Hermit asks you, in terms of tarot, to look at a situation in your life, or look at an area in your life that is painful, or that is difficult, or that has something that needs rectifying or healing. Yeah. Hermit energy related to 6th house, Virgo energy. Yeah. And sometimes the route that needs to be taken to get to that healing, to get to that solution, to get to that point of things being rectified and corrected is painful. It's not easy. You can't simply wrap it in a bow and say, here's your solution. It's nice and cute and cuddly and it's simple. No. Often the Hermit indicates things that are difficult and painful. Often signaling to deep histories, okay? Long-standing pain and displeasure. It's so specific in my mind, the images, but the tone I hope plays for everybody. But I'm getting the sense of a family member who you love, despite all the drama, despite any trauma that has transpired between the two of you, you love them, they love you, and you've always kind of in your own ways had each other's backs. Now there's like this breaking point because Capricorn, you're being dragged down with them. This person who, again, I'm getting this idea of someone who stays with you, who you've, lent a helping hand to, and now they're biting the hand that feeds, essentially. So, again, you've let your cousin stay with you, just an example, for the past 6-8 months, a year, something like that. And now you're like, okay, listen, the mortgage is this much a month. And really, you only give me like a quarter of what that is. I need you to pay like at least half because it's you and your 2 kids. And your cousin is like, well, I'm not working. I'm not working. Or, this job only pays me this much. Or my check is short. Whatever. And it's like, okay, you can't do that. Can you do this? You and the kids take care of the house. You do the chore. I ain't your maid. I ain't nobody's maid. Okay. So you're not going to pay me fairly to live here. You're not going to take care of the house. You're actually destroying some things in here. You're messing things up. You're not pulling your weight. What do I need to do to make this situation? All right, Capricorn, I apologize about that. I'm not exactly sure where I got cut off, but we're going to wrap it up soon. But there's this idea of, is it cutting the person off? Is it kicking them out? Is it, telling them they have to, shoulder the burdens? Or if you bail them out, in one financial situation and you tell them going forward, I will never bail you out again. I don't know if you need to give them such ultimatums. I'm not sure. But there is this idea of needing to consider your own wellness, emotional, spiritual, mental, and in some cases physical, because some people, when you have stress and anxiety, it manifests through your body physically. Some of you might have actual physical symptoms when dealing with this person or the situation that you're in with them. Yeah. I think that you are possibly, in some cases, made uncomfortable by putting yourself first. Now, on my channel, I advocate for all types of autonomy and prioritizing of the self, because if you're not in a state of health and abundance and capability and happiness, how could you provide that for other people? Or how could you be a source of that for other people? There's no sense in giving to others if it depletes you completely. You know what I mean? I just don't see a sense in doing that. So I don't really necessarily advocate for too much sacrifice. But, if you don't like that, you don't have to follow me. Anyway, so I think that's kind of where you're at with it. I think that you're considering how much of yourself to sacrifice, or how much is too much. How much has this person taken from you, and how much have you gotten back? I think a lot of you are coming to this point and realizing it's not exactly fair, it's not exactly equal, and that's a problem. Okay? Your outcome, Capricorn, for mid-February is the Princess of Pentacles, aka the Page of Pentacles. Earth sign energy, Capricorn, Virgo, and Taurus. Oh, that's interesting. This princess looks a little pregnant. Oh, come on now with the focus now. She looks a little bit like a pregnant little pregnant tummy, yeah? So in some of your cases, listen. Relatives or friends who are down on their luck, who may have become pregnant, or again, our parents already, they have small children with them, whatever. Makes it more difficult. I understand. But if someone is like the examples I was giving you a moment ago, well, could you pay this much? I don't make that much money. You know, my check is short. You know this, you know that. Like, you offer solutions and this person becomes possibly irate. That's a problem. And this Princess of Pentacles is signaling to me that there's an immaturity in this vicinity, in this situation, in this storyline. There's a strong, immature energy here. The pregnancy, if this person, God, this is so specific and it's not for everybody. But again, if you're letting someone live with you, or you've taken someone in, friend, family, it doesn't matter, and they've already got small children with them, and then they get pregnant, or they get someone else pregnant, or whatever it is, it's like, you're already down on your luck. You're already, no offense, on food stamps. No shade to anybody on food stamps. I've been there. Okay. You see what I mean? But there's like this, you are not helping yourself or me by going and getting yourself pregnant, or allowing a woman to get pregnant and you already have 2 small kids. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to go out there and be an adult and do adult things, be smart. You see what I mean? And this Princess of Pentacles is showing me someone who doesn't have a lot to stand on, doesn't have much of a foundation to begin with. They're just starting. So again, like, I'm getting like this young, well, not even again, but I'm sensing someone who is young in their action, young in their mental, not overly mature, making childish decisions. And it's tough because you really care about this person. There is like a loving relationship between you. That could be what this person is banking on, what they're counting on, is that you do care about them, that you want them to, not be out on the street. And I'm not saying to do that. I'm not saying kick someone out knowing you're putting them on the street. No, I'm not saying that. But that's like this person's angle. They know you would never do anything to harm them. So they kind of coast. Thank you. Pentacles, they coast. They go very slowly. You're asking for improvements. You're asking for them to get another job. You only work part-time right now anyway. You could get something else on the weekends. And this person is like, oh yeah, I'm looking. I'll look. And you check back like in a week or 2. So what's going on with the job hunt? I told you I was looking. Okay, well, have you looked? I didn't get around to it just yet. I've been busy with it. You know what I mean? Like, this person stalls. They stretch it out. Lord. It's so difficult because you care about this person so much. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I'm not, sitting here, oh, why do you care about them? No, I understand. It's a tough call. It's a very tough call. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's a tough call. 9 of Swords right behind it. Listen, this is too much. Overall energy is the 4 of Pentacles. So here we go again. In terms of money and resources, you're having to count your pennies. You're having to count your dollars. Some of you might literally have to like count the money in your wallet, count the money in your purse with this person around you. And they don't have to necessarily even live with you. They could, again, just be coming to you, or they could be this financial burden on your shoulders. So some of you are really cautious, as you should be, with your finances when it comes to this person or the situation that we're talking about. You might withhold funds, knowing that if this is like, this could be your husband or wife. If you've got like a shared account with this person and they overspend, or that they are indulgent in their spending, you might, set aside part of your check. You're like, all right, you keep going over with the grocery bill, or you keep spending all this money at Sephora, or spending all this money at Foot Locker, or whatever the hell it is. Yeah. You're like, listen, stop spending that money. And they don't. They keep saying, oh, I will. I won't spend more than $100 on a pair of shoes. I promise I won't. Then you find the credit card statement that says they spent $260 at Foot Locker last week. 2 days after you guys had this discussion about not buying new sneakers more than $100, right? So then you're like, what are you doing? So that's that Four of Pentacles. Okay, you're not listening to me. You're putting me, the pair of us, in financial jeopardy. Here's what I got to do. I got to start stashing my cash on the side. I got to start building a nest egg over here because you don't put money towards the mortgage, or you don't put money in the car. Somebody here has to be responsible, but there is a slight sneaky energy here between the Four of Pentacles, the Four of Swords, and the Hermit. If you're making these moves, Capricorn, or whoever's making these moves, it's done very quietly. It's not announced. It's not, agreed upon. It's not, I'm going to start setting money aside because I don't trust you. You're not telling this person you're doing that. You're just doing it. Capricorn, that is your reading for mid-February. If you found something to like here, go ahead and hit the like button for me. Feel free to comment below. Let me know how this resonated in your life. I love those kinds of messages. Make sure that you share the video if you want other people to know that you like my stuff or there's a message here for them. And make sure that you subscribe, my friends, if you haven't subscribed already. Capricorn, I will be back soon doing the March readings as well as the no communications readings. So I will see you guys then. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.